Can you see my screen? Okay, great. We'll begin in a couple of minutes. Okay, so we'll continue figures of speech from last class. Um, so today, let's start by looking at assonance, right? So assonance is actually the repetition of vowel sounds um, in the nearby words. So let me give you the example. Mm, the rain in Spain stays mainly in the plain. So when you say that, which all sounds come out prominent? Anybody? You can unmute and speak. Just feel free to speak, right? Because this is more like a discussion drill practice session. So
I think so.
rain, Spain, Maine. So there is a, right? Rain, a, Spain, a, stay. So plain, a. Again, the a word is coming. Um, then if you see, there's also just a second. Hello. Yeah. Actually, there's a session going on now. Can I call you in some time? Yeah. Sorry about that. Um, so assonance, you got to check for repeated vowel sounds, either at the beginning or in the middle or in the end. See if there are vowel sounds that's getting repeated. Now, the rain in Spain stays mainly in the plain. There's something else also that's other than vowel sound that is getting repeated in this particular line. What do you think that is? Any idea? Another sound is getting repeated, and
E.
that's
I think so, ma'am.
E. The rain, A, in
Rain.
Spain, E. Yeah, actually, if you look at it, right, the A sound has E in it. So E is definitely getting repeated. Um, so what you have to look at is the sound and not the letters, right? Um, so yes, E sound is getting repeated. Then if you say the rain in Spain stays mainly in plain. So now if you see there are two consonant sounds, sir, getting repeated. Spain and stays, right? Sir, sir. And what is that kind of figure of speech called where sir sound gets repeated?
Alliteration.
Any idea?
Consonants.
Uh, so a consonant sound getting repeated is called consonants, right? So let me now now if that consonant sound starts with the letter s or related sounds like s, z, then it is also called sibilance. Before I get into that detail, let me give the example of assonance, or get into the second, third examples of assonance. The light of the fire is a sight. What is the vowel sound that is getting repeated here? Any idea? The light of the fire is a sight.
It's I. It's
Yes.
E. Like
I sound, definitely yes. The light of the fire is a sight. E, the light of the sound. Yeah, so primarily I comes through light and fire and sight, right?
but
Um,
E also.
E also, definitely yes. Uh, the light of the fire. The E as in, where do you find the sound E?
Light in light word and also in sight.
Light.
I eat. Yes. Sight.
Okay. Okay. That's okay. Light. It's not E exactly. Otherwise, it will be pronounced as leet, right? It's not that. So it's not E, but it's I. Try to light the fire. Again, what sound is getting repeated? Try to light the fire. So you start saying try. Okay, so try, light, fire. The main sound that comes, that is common to all this, is I. Try. I
I.
sound is
Yeah.
there.
It's I. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, light, l, and next is I, right? The third word is fire, fire. So that has I, again, fire. So what's the effect of assonance? It creates some kind of musicality, right? Or rhythm to it. That's assonance. Consonance is where consonant sounds get repeated within or at the end of the words. Like for instance, pitter patter, um, lumpy bumpy road. What is in lumpy bumpy? Uh, which consonant sounds are getting repeated?
Pa. That is P.
Yeah.
Lumpy and P.
M, right? Ma and pa are getting ma and pa. E is not, see, lumpy. E is not a consonant sound, right? E is a vowel sound. But
As
ma and pa are consonant sounds. So therefore, it's the sound that works as the consonant sounds there, and therefore that is a consonance. Now, stroke of luck. What is the consonant, repeated consonant sound there?
trucker.
K sound. Yes. He struck a streak of bad luck. What sound? He struck a streak of bad luck.
Ma'am, ka sound.
Yes, ka sound is in struck. Ka
Strict.
sound comes,
Luck.
streak comes ka sound, and luck comes ka sound. So ka is a consonant sound, and this consonant sound is getting repeated multiple times. So it is consonants. Mike likes his new bike. What sound is getting repeated? Mike likes his new bike.
Ma'am, I think in Mike and bike,
Mm,
ka sound is repeating here.
yes. There's also like where ka sound is getting repeated.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So this is consonants. Now comes sibilants, right? In sibilants, there is a repetition of the hissing consonant sounds, and the hissing consonant sounds are the consonant sounds that produce this sound, right? So that is created by sounds like sa, z, sh, j, right? Like in measure. It's not sir and it's not j, but it's somewhere in between that. So the effect of that is, when you say the sound, there's a soft whispering or a hissing effect in the speech, right? An example is she sells seashells by the seashore. All of that, almost all of that, begins with sound, and sh, shell, that is different from seesaw. So there is sa and sh. Even in seashore, there is sh sound. So with all this, because there's a repetition of hissing consonant sounds, this is a sibilance. Next, the silent snake slithered slowly. What sound is coming out in that?
So,
Sh or s?
so,
S. Silent s. You don't say silent, right? Silent. Snake, again s, not sh. Slithered, again s. And slowly, again s. It's not slowly, it's slowly. So again s. The next is soft snow settled on the grass. Soft and snow settled. All of these starts with s sound. Now, the next example, the busy bees buzzed loudly. What sound is getting repeated?
z, z.
Z sound, yes. Busy, bees, buzzed.
Bees
Z,
buzzed.
yeah. So, what you got to look for is the repetition of hissing consonant sounds. So, anything sa, j, sa, sh, z, z, sometimes even ch with a hissing sound, sh, right? All of that comes under sibilance. Now, there is a difference between consonants and alliteration. I want you to keep in mind. Consonant can have consonants can have consonant sound repetition anywhere, but alliteration will have consonant sound at the beginning. Like for example, wild windy weather. The were consonant sound is getting repeated at the beginning of all the three words, which is wild, windy, and weather. Therefore, it is called an alliteration. Okay. um, I think that has been made clear. um, about the repetition of just a quick review about the repetition of consonant and vowel sounds. We have assonance, consonance, sibilance, and alliteration that you have to keep in mind. Assonance is when the vowel sounds gets repeated anywhere. It could be in the beginning or the middle or the end of the sentence or a word. uh, um, Consonance is where consonant sound gets repeated anywhere. And if the consonant sound gets repeated at the beginning, then it is called an alliteration. Otherwise, in a general um, term, in an umbrella term, it's called consonants. And within the consonant sound, if the repetition is of the consonant sounds that produces a hissing sound, then it is called sibilance, right? Anything like sh, and all that. Okay. Next is irony. Irony is contrast between the expectation and reality. I'll explain by, using an example. A fire station burns down. Why is this an irony? Can someone explain? Anybody? A fire station burns down. Anyone try? It's okay to be wrong.
Ma'am, I think the fire station is the name,
Mm.
and it's not burned down.
Mm, no, it's something else. Um, Anything else that you can think of? Anybody here? Okay, let me give you the. Let me explain it. Um, what's a fire station? What does a fire station stands for? It's something that when your house catches fire, a fire station helps you put down the fire, right? Now look at the irony. The fire station itself catches fire. So this is called a situational irony. The one that's supposed to help, when that now that is in trouble, what happens? um, did that become clear to you? The expectation is that the fire station will be safe, and in reality, when a fire station catches fire, you say, what an irony, a fire station itself has caught fire. Now where will they go to stop the fire? Okay, now another irony is, it's extremely hot day, okay, and then you say, wow, what a lovely day, what a wonderful weather. This is a verbal irony. That is, you don't have to look at the terms, you just need to know irony. Irony is, you are saying this to mean the opposite. Your expectation is it's a nice day, but the reality is it's a bad day, and you're expressing that bad day using an ironical word, which is, or an ironical phrase or a sentence, which is, oh, what a lovely weather. Now, another irony is, a traffic police officer gets a speeding ticket, so he overspeeds. What is expected of a traffic police officer? That he takes care of the rules and regulations and safety of the public on road. Now he himself, right, gets a speeding ticket, then it becomes an irony. Um, then there is also called dramatic irony, where this is particularly when you're watching something and there is drama involved in it. So let's say you're watching a movie, right? And the character in the movie, um, let's say that person is going to drink a glass of water, and you already know that somebody has mixed poison in that glass of water, so you know the person is going to die. But if that character there says that, oh, I feel so alive after drinking a glass of water now, right? um, then that is a dramatic irony. This is particularly when you're um, when something is over dramatized in that context. But you just need to know the broader term of what we call irony. Irony is, there is a contrast between the expectation and reality, and you express this contrast through your words, right? So this is irony. Any questions about irony? Do you have any questions? Did I make that clear? If you are confused about it, you can come up with your own questions and ask, ma'am, is this irony? Do you think this is irony? Okay, I'm taking the silence for an S. You understood irony. I'll move on to the next concept. At the end of it, we'll have like I'll ask you questions. Um, I'll see, with that we'll be able to know whether you got these concepts clear. Next, you have pun. Somebody had asked me, I think 2 classes back, um, what pun is. Pun is basically playing with words with multiple meanings or similar sounds, but not necessary that it has to make complete sense, right? Uh, it's just creating humor with words. Example: time flies like an arrow, fruit flies like a banana. So, here, generally, when we say time flies like an arrow, we mean um, that time is flying, right? Whereas where you the that fly is a verb there, but to sound to make this sound humorous, someone is saying fruit flies, and this fly is not the verb fly but the noun fly, that is the insect, fruit fly insect, right? Fruit fly like a banana. So this is, someone is using and playing with the words, right, in framing the sentence, um, to make it look structurally nice, but semantically or meaning wise it doesn't make sense. Now see how somebody is playing with the words. Ice cream, right? I and scream. Same thing will sound ice scream, ice cream. Now, another example of pun is, a bicycle can't stand on its own because it is too tired. Now, by this, the pun is too tired. Instead of TWO, you can look at it as TOO. It's too tired to stand on its own. But because it's a bicycle, you can also say it's too tired. So here the what I want you to understand is, it need not make sense, but you are saying it for the fun of it or the humor of it, right? Or if I say the math teacher has too many problems, why am I using the word problems? Because math has a lot of problems. So here again, I'm playing with words and the meaning. I used to be a banker, but I lost interest. Is it interest in banking or um, interest with regard to the principal amount that you gave? So it's again, you use these to create humor and wit. It's basically for, or it could be for sarcasm, right? So this is called pun. It need not have a standard meaning, is what I'm saying. Next comes juxtaposition. Juxtaposition is where uh, two contrasting ideas are placed side by side. What are the examples of that? It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. So, this is the opening line of a very famous book called A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens. And that book starts with this line. So, he's trying to describe the time where this tale happens. And how does he describe the time? He starts with, it was the best of the times, it was the worst of the times. So when you're placing two contrasting ideas together, we call that uh, figure of speech as juxtaposition. Now, another example is a rich man begging for food. How is this juxtaposition? Can somebody explain? A rich man begging for food. How is it juxtaposition? What are the two contrast ideas here?
I think, ma'am, rich and baking.
Yes, because begging is associated with poverty. So there is rich and poor, right? Um, so therefore, two contrasting ideas are placed side by side. The tiny mouse stood before the giant elephant. So again, tiny and the giant. She laughed while tears rolled down her face. So tears coming down is usually associated with grief, but then the act is also she's laughing.
Laughter.
Yeah. So this kind of contrasting ideas placed side by side is called juxtaposition, and this is basically to highlight contrast. Okay, now comes anaphora. This is where repetition of a word or a phrase is at the beginning of a clause. For example, the same thing in juxtaposition also, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times. Apart from two contrasting ideas, if you see, um, it was the best, it was the is being repeated in both the phrases, right? So sorry, in both the clause. So sorry, so that kind of repetition where words or phrases are repeated at the beginning of a clause is called anaphora, right? We shall fight, we shall defend, we shall never surrender. What is being repeated here? We shall is being repeated in all the uh, three clauses, right? um, if I say it was the best of times, it was the worst of times, it was the age of wisdom, it was the is being repeated in all the three lines. Therefore, that is anaphora. Every day, every night, every moment, I think of you. What is being repeated here? Every. So, therefore, it is an anaphora. Yes. This is our time. This is our moment. This is our victory. What's repeated here?
This.
This is our is repeated in all the three lines, right? So this kind of is used to overemphasize things, and also to create a rhythm to get the attention of the audience. This is usually done by political leaders to in their speech, right, given to larger audience um, to give an emphasis on what matters the most to them. In their punchlines, a lot of times anaphora is used. Okay. Next is epiphora. This is not a part of, I don't think this was included in your videos, but just because I said, and I did talk about anaphora, which is about repetition of a word or a phrase at the beginning of a clause. I thought I'll also include epiphora because epiphora is the right opposite uh, of what anaphora stands for, in which here a word or a phrase is repeated at the end of a clause or a sentence or lines. For example, government of the people, by the people, for the people. Here, the people comes at the end and that is repeated. Similarly, I want justice, you deserve justice, we demand justice. So the word justice is repeated at the end of every uh, clause here, which is becoming a sentence. So in this sentence with this three in these three clauses, the word justice that comes at the end of each clause is being repeated. Therefore, this is an epiphora. He was looking for love, searching for love, waiting for love. So here the word love gets repeated, and therefore this is an epiphora. And what is the purpose of something like this? It helps communicate the emotion in a better way. It builds an emotional impact. Next is synecdoche. So synecdoche is where a part represents the whole or a whole represents the part. Um, with examples, you'll be able to better understand this. Let's say someone says, we need more wheels. What does it mean? Any
Ma'am,
idea?
how do we pronounce it?
Synecdoche. 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 Um, yeah. So when someone says we need more wheels, what does it actually mean? What does wheel stand for? Let's say group of a big group of multiple families are planning for a trip, and they say, okay, we have two cars, right? So someone says, no, no, we need more wheels. What does that mean? It's actually a standard set thing that you say in English. Wheels stand for vehicle, right? So someone is using that phrase there to say that no, no, look, we need more vehicles. So here, wheel represents a wheel, which is a part of the vehicle, represents the whole vehicle. When someone looks at your cloth and say, and when someone says nice threads, it means nice cloth because cloth is made up of threads. And here, when they say thread, they're actually referring to cloth. And because thread is a part of the cloth is formed by threads. Okay, this is something that you may be familiar. People say there are I have four mouths to feed in my family. When someone says that, it means there are four people in the family that the man has to take care of. So here, mouth represents a person. So when they say I have four mouths to feed at my home, it means I have four people, right, at home that I need to feed. Now the vice versa is also possible. Like for instance, India won the match. India won the match as in uh, did India as a country. So what do I mean by India won the match? Who actually won the match? Responses? Anybody? Who won the match?
Ma'am, cricket team.
Yes, the cricket team won the match, right? But the cricket team is associated to India, so a part is associated to the whole. Sorry, the whole is taken instead of the part, which is the cricket team is a part of India, but you talk about it as India won the match. It is right opposite of what I explained in the first three examples. The school decided to cancel classes. It could be the teacher who decided to cancel the class or the principal, but we are taking it as a whole, and therefore we say the school decided to cancel the class. The third example is the police arrived quickly, right? It doesn't mean that the entire police force of the country has arrived quickly. It's few police officers arrived, but you don't say police officers arrived quickly. You mostly take the whole for the part and speak, right? So this is called synecdoche, where where a part represents either the whole or the whole represents the part. Next is metonymy, which is it's not whole or part, but a closely related word. For example, Delhi announced new education reforms. What does that mean? Delhi announces means can the place announce?
No, ma'am.
No, it's not the capital announced also. But Delhi is associated with central government. And that is not a directly linked thing, it's a closely related term. Delhi as the center of power, particularly of the central government, right? Or as a place of authority. Delhi seen as a place of authority. So instead of saying central government announced new education reforms, if you say Delhi announced new education reforms, central government is substituted with a closely related term because Delhi is also the place of authority. Next is the pen is mightier than the sword. Pen represents for writing, which represents knowledge and intellect, right? So here the meaning says that knowledge and intellect is much more powerful than military force, which is represented by sword, okay, or weapons, whatever, weapons represented by uh, military force, right? So here the pen is mightier than the sword. Um, the pen is a substitute for intellect, and the sword is a substitute for military force. Another example is he drank the whole bottle. Is it possible to drink the bottle? No. But what is inside the bottle, right? So the liquid is associated with the closely related term, which is the bottle that the liquid is filled into. Now, I am reading Shakespeare. Is it possible to read a person, particularly Shakespeare who's dead and gone? No.
No.
But when I say I'm reading Shakespeare, I'm reading the work of Shakespeare. So here, the substitution for Shakespeare, the substitution for a work of Shakespeare is um, by using Shakespeare that is closely related. That is the author. Next is Laertes. Laertes is actually an understatement using negation. For example, these are all things actually they have given some fans. I mean, it's not we, but uh, literature has some fancy terms for these. But these are all things that you're very familiar with. An example is for Laertes, understatement using negation. For example, um, to be saying, uh, how is he? And when I say not bad, what does that mean? Not bad means he's good. Or if I say he is no fool, it means he is a intelligent person. When I say this is not a small problem, it means it is a big problem. I am not unfamiliar with this topic. So there is double negation, that is not unfamiliar. Instead, you can say, I am familiar with this topic, right? So when you, instead of using that, if you use it this way, that is, I am not unfamiliar with this topic, then there is an understatement using negation, mostly implies positive meaning, right? And therefore it is Laertes. Now, I'm saying that he is not tall is not Laertes. Can you say why? When I say he is not tall,
It's mean he is short.
yeah, which means he is short. Why is that not a Laertes? He is not tall is not Laertes. Why? Can someone explain? The explanation is there right in the slide itself if you go through it properly.
Ma'am, he is not tall means he is short.
Yeah, so
That's all. So that is giving us the positive
that
sentence.
doesn't have a positive meaning. Therefore, it is not a Laertes. But if I say he is not short, is that a Laertes? Feel free to answer. There is nothing wrong about going wrong, if at all that happens.
No, ma'am, I think so.
It is not Laertes. Why?
Same reason as above.
He is not short means he is tall, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Which means it has a positive meaning.
Yes, ma'am.
Litotis, the condition is one, it should have negation. So when I say he is not short, because there is not, there is a negation. And the second condition is it must have a positive meaning. So when I say he is not short, it means he is tall, which has a positive meaning, and therefore it is a litotis. But if I say he is not tall, the first condition is it should have negation. Does that word have does that sentence have negation? He is not tall. Does it have negation?
No, ma'am, I think.
No. It has negation. The moment you see the word not, it means there is negation.
Oh,
Not is a negation. So the first rule is there should be negation. So in the sentence he is not tall, there is there is a negative word called not. Therefore it has negation. So first rule is okay. But second rule is that it has to have a positive meaning. When I say he's not tall, it means he's short. I'm referring to uh, something that has a negative implication in societal standards. So with negative implication, it doesn't become a litotis. Did I make myself clear?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then comes euphemism. Euphemism is using better or milder expressions to replace harsh ones. For example, instead of saying he was fired, um, people say he was laid off. Or instead of saying he's a poor guy, um, you could say he's financially challenged. Or instead of saying a cheap product, you can say it's a budget friendly product. Instead of telling these days, especially people use this, instead of asking where is the toilet, people ask where's the restroom or where's the washroom. So this kind of a good example is instead of saying he died, right, which sounds very blunt, people say he passed away. So the effect is for politeness and sensitivity. um, I think that is it for today, but I have some questions for you. This is just to check whether you got these right. Um, Before that, let me ask you, do you have any doubts?
Ma'am,
Yeah,
may I?
yes, please.
Uh, I have a doubt in between personification, paradox, and no, between paradox, oxymoron, and antithesis.
Okay. So this is last class thing. We'll do one thing. Uh, First, once I get this cleared, which is the exercise for this, I'll ask you few questions related to this particular session, and then I'll take up your question. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure, ma'am.
Yeah. Any questions around what we spoke today? Okay. So in that case, let me ask you a few questions. You can type in the chat box also, okay? Okay. I see that people were typing on the chat box. Sorry, I was not looking at the chat box. Okay. Um, the breeze blew cool and smooth through the room. What is that? Assonance, consonance, sibilance, irony. The breeze blew cool and smooth through the room. Anybody? Consonance, assonance, alliteration. Yes. All are true. Um, Assonance because there is cool and smooth. So there is ooh and also room, right? The breeze blew smooth. Sorry, blue. Let me type it and put it here. Cool and smooth um, through the room. Um, so here, I put that in the chat box. So here, alliteration because what is
B.
alliteration? Yeah, ba
B.
sounds consonant sound, two consonant sounds. The consonant sound ba um, begins at begins in the word breeze and blue. So therefore, alliteration. Alliteration comes under consonants because consonant sounds. I mean, coming together of consonant sounds is also consonant sounds is called consonants. Um, The other one, I say assonance because there's also cool and smooth and room. So there is oo sound getting repeated, cool, smooth, room. So all of those words have oo sound repeating, and oo is a vowel sound. So therefore, all three can
Do
be
we
right.
include true?
Through, yes, of course, through
Assonance.
also, yes. But yes, uh, Raksha, you're right. Assonance dominate. So, if you are asked to pick one, right, the one that dominates, you got to choose that as the right answer. Um, the manager asked for more hands in the workshop. What could that be? The manager asked for more hands in the workshop.
Synonym.
Manager asked, uh, metonymy. Okay. Is that related word or is it a part? Yes. How do you pronounce that? Let me see if you don't if you remember.
Synonym.
Huh?
Synecdoche.
What is it?
Synecdoche.
Synecdoche. It's called synecdoche. Okay. Um, okay, yes. Synecdoche because it is hand refer to person. So yes, you are right. Because here it is a part um, representing the whole, right? Um, another next thing is great. Another assignment to finish tonight. What is that?
Please repeat now.
Great. Another assignment to finish tonight. Okay, let me put that in the group. Someone said. So, great. Another assignment to finish tonight. Same time. Yes. Think and tell me.
Is it metonymy?
Yeah. Metonymy. Mm, no. Why do you feel it is metonymy? Metonymy means a substitution to a closely related term, right? Here, what is happening? Great. Another assignment to finish tonight. You forgot the one example that I gave, which is somebody complaining about the weather by saying, yes, Ridhima is right. Irony. Somebody complaining about hot weather saying, wow, what a nice weather. So something like that. The person is so pissed off that, there's another assignment to be finished, but starts with great, right? So this is irony. The silver screen has changed a lot. Yes, Yashaswini, you will have the recordings. The silver screen has changed a lot. Okay. Silver screen. What does the word silver screen means? Anybody? Means films or film industry, right? So, silver screen and film industry. Is that related? Has silver screen got something to do with the film industry?
No.
Yes. Yeah. So, yes, I mean, there is nothing related. So, this is a metonymy. Um, okay. He is not entirely wrong. He is not entirely wrong. Yes. Litotis. Yes. Next one is the tiny candle fought the vast darkness. Okay. Irony, definitely it comes under irony, but there's also something else. There is tiny and vast. What does that mean?
Am oxymoron.
Juxtaposition, yes. It's juxtaposition. Two contrasting things placed side by side. Tiny and vast. And then there's also idea. This is verbal. Candle refers to light, right? And it is placed along with the darkness. It is tiny, there is vast, there is light, and there is darkness. So this is also juxtaposition. In fact, this is more juxtaposition. Okay. Mm. We will rise, we will rebuild, we will recover. This should be easy. We will,
Synecdoche.
we will rise, we will rebuild, we will recover. Something that begins repetition at the beginning. What is that?
Oh,
Repetition at the beginning is anaphora. Yes. The newsroom isn't okay. Maybe that is okay. Amazing. My phone died again. Irony. Yes, we just had that example. He grabbed a bite before the meeting. He grabbed a bite before the meeting. Yes, synecdoche. Why is it synecdoche?
Because again, bite is refers to
Bite of food, which is part of the whole. Yes. Okay. I think you got today's. Let me ask you a couple of other things. Um, word play based on double meaning is what? Anaphora, sibilance, pun, metonymy. Yes, the moment you hear word play, you should remember pun. Okay, and also humor, right? Um, young and old gathered together is metonymy, litotes, juxtaposition, or assonance. Yes, juxtaposition because young and old, right? Okay. Um, uh, the crown reduced taxes. What does the crown reduced taxes? Metonymy, yes. You know why? Because the crown means government, yes. So, okay, so I think you have understood this part. Now, there was a any question related to this before I take up last class's question?
Good evening, ma'am.
Yeah, please. Good evening.
I have a doubt regarding the surprise test factor.
Okay. We don't have
So,
surprise test as such.
okay, ma'am, because I get notifications 2 times. That's why I am asking.
Did you get notification 2 times that there's a surprise test in English
Yes, ma'am.
or in other subjects?
In English specifically 2 times on dashboard. That's why I am asking.
Oh, not aware
The
of that.
announcement says there is no surprise test in English. Second announcement. The first time they had posted it by mistake, so we had sent a re-announcement which says there is no surprise test in English.
In rest
Yes,
subjects, do we
you are
have?
right.
Other subjects you can check with the respective instructors during the sessions, but for English you have no surprise test.
Okay.
Um, any questions? You can unmute. Yeah. Any questions? You can unmute and speak. Okay. Um, now, what was the question? Okay, now I hope you don't have any questions related to today's session. Somebody had a question on the previous session. Can you please repeat your question?
Yes, ma'am. I have a doubt between
Hmm.
paradox, oxymoron, and antithesis.
Okay, so I'll tell you. Paradox appears contradictory, but it reveals a deeper truth. For example, when I say less is more, right? Um, on the surface level, it looks very contradictory, less and more. But through life's experience, you know that, particularly with the philosophy of minimalism and all that, you know that less of anything is having more of peace, right? Um, so in that way, this is considered a general philosophy that the less you have to manage with your life, the more peaceful you are. So paradox simply means that something might appear contradictory on the surface level, but has a deeper truth of life hidden in it. Right. Now, oxymoron usually has two words, unlike a paradox, which is usually a full statement, right? And it doesn't necessarily reveal any deeper truth. Okay. And it's mostly what is called stylistic contrast. For example, if I say something like it was a sweet sorrow, right? First of all, it's two words. It doesn't reveal any deeper philosophy when I say sweet sorrow. um, Now, antithesis is where there are contrasting ideas in parallel grammatical structure. This is important. The word grammatical structure is important for antithesis. For example, when someone says speech is silver but silence is golden, what you have to understand is look at the structure. Speech is silver. So that is one clause, comma, followed by but, and then silence is golden. So what is on the left of the word but and the right of the word but have similar grammatical structure. That is, speech is silver, but silence is golden. There are three words before but, and there are three words after but, and all the three words, if you see, they all belong to the same grammatical category, which is um, uh, uh, speech is noun and silence is noun, and there is silver on one side, there is golden on other side. So in that way, antithesis, what you have to keep in mind is it has contrasting ideas in parallel grammatical structure. Oxymoron has mostly two words. It doesn't have any deeper philosophy, deeper meaning to it. Paradox is usually larger in terms of it could be a sentence or if nothing, phrase with more than two words. And most important thing is that paradox has a hidden truth, or it could be something that is thought provoking and it not be parallel in structure, unlike a antithesis. Did I make myself clear? Yeah, no pain, no gain.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Yeah. So someone has Sachin Kumar has given no pain, no gain. It has a deeper philosophy, right? Deeper philosophy, but structurally, this is antithesis because it has similar grammatical structure. Okay. Anybody, any more questions? Okay. I take the silence for no more questions. In that case, we'll call it a day here. Have a great evening, all of you. We'll see you in the next class.
Thank you, ma'am. Have a
Bye.
good day.
Take care. Yeah. You too.